Hi everyone, welcome back to a new episode in the new year, 2026. I hope everyone enjoyed their Christmas holidays and New Year. Um,
Enjoyed is such a strong
yeah.
word. It's,
Um, it's the same.
yeah.
I didn't really enjoy because obviously, Christmas is more for the little ones, more for the kids. Um,
Oh yeah, I felt that this
yeah,
Christmas. My nephew has I don't know how old he is, but he's gotten to a place where he speaks in full sentences to me, and that is highly annoying.
yeah.
My niece is still like a potato, but he's the other one that started like moving. I have a niece and nephew, by the way. I meet them literally once a year. It's amazing that he remembered me.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah. Um,
Why do you have such long hair? I don't know. Why am I gonna kick you in the pool now, you 5-year-old child?
yeah.
It's not a pool, it's a jacuzzi.
Mm,
My mother is a retiree, so she got a jacuzzi.
mm, nice.
Got to do
um,
something on the in the fall of her life.
yeah.
She's
Um,
she's the end to the Sphinx's riddle.
yeah. um, I did want to briefly um,
Touch up on the actual fucking live assassination that happened.
yeah.
In
Um,
broad daylight on a street, in broad daylight, deadlight. Jesus fucking Christ!
yeah.
My stepchild has been reading it, which is worrying because at some point they're gonna get to that scene.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if you know. I don't know if you know which scene, but so deadlights is just like in my mind. But
yeah.
yeah, we had it. There was a live execution in broad day. I said it again. I've
Yes.
been I've been off the air for too long.
Yeah.
I can't speak
Yeah.
anymore.
So yeah, just a word of warning for anyone who happens to watch this and enjoy it. This is our first one back, so if we're a bit rusty, then do forgive us. But yeah,
Word of warning: Max is about to get angry.
yeah. So yes, for those of you who don't know, which I will find that very hard to believe unless you live under a rock. Um, on January 7th, um, Renee Nicole Good, a mother of three, um, was murdered.
Yes.
Also, Ice Reid, that led to Renee Nicole Good's death, was part of a sweeping federal crackdown, Operation Metro Surge, that flooded Minneapolis with over 3,000 armed agents, igniting fierce local resistance and exposing deep fractures between federal immigration policy and community sovereignty. So, Operation Metro Surge was launched early in January, obviously, because this was like literally like several days into the new year.
Yeah.
Um, the operation deployed thousands of ICE and Border Patrol agents to Minneapolis and St. Paul, officially framed as a response to immigration fraud investigations, particularly involving the Somali American, because we all know that Taco Trump loves to insinuate that immigrants are thugs when they're not, calling Somali people to basically go back to their own country. Um,
Gotta divide and conquer,
yeah,
Turin. Gotta divide and conquer.
so yeah, and yes, Renee Nicole Good was a lesbian, but I'm not gonna focus on her sexuality because her life was taken when it shouldn't have been taken. Mayor
Yeah,
Jacob.
and I mean we can.
Yeah, go on.
I know they've used it, but like this is definitely one of the cases. She didn't get shot for being a lesbian. Like this
No,
wasn't a hate crime in that way.
no, it wasn't.
This was a public fucking execution.
Yeah,
Let's be without trial, without a
yeah,
trial. Like, can you hear me well still? I'm kind of
yeah,
moving outside, and I want to make sure that the microphone is working. I'm going outside to have a cigarette.
yeah. I can hear you. Yeah.
That's
So
good.
the mayor Jacob Frey condemned the operation as an invasion and a violation of Minneapolis' sovereignty. Community members described ICE's tactics as militarized and indiscriminate, with reports of agents pulling people from cars and questioning residents based on appearance. Protests erupted after Renee's killing, with chants of ICE out of Minneapolis and calls for federal withdrawal. Um,
Who would have who would have ever thought that like bringing the Gestapo in would have any type of consequences?
well,
Who could have ever seen that coming?
none of us really, unless if you happen to be, a journalist whose day job is to actually sift through all of the bullshit that Donald Trump says. But
Yeah,
I
but
mean, we
but
all
like
know.
they are the fucking Gestapo.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
we all know, at this point that how much Donald Trump loves Hitler. We all know it. We all know he craves to bring back, Hitler army. We all know it. And that's what he's trying to do. Basically,
oh,
ICE is his militarized little fucking army.
yeah, they're the Gestapo.
Yeah,
It's and like yeah, they targeted people based on appearance. Oh, I thought you don't say, you
yeah.
don't
And it's
you
like
don't
you've got
fucking
like,
say.
yeah, and then you've got like Christy Nome, who literally shot her own dog because she couldn't train it properly or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah,
Said called Renee Nicole Good a domestic terrorist and a paid agitator using a deadly weapon. Like,
yeah, really.
yeah. So yeah, Jacob Frey, mayor of Minneapolis, condemned the operation as an invasion and a violation of Minneapolis' sovereignty. Um, Renee was not the target of the raid. She was reportedly supporting neighbors during the chaos. Her death became a symbol of resistance, galvanizing activists across racial and gender lines. The shooting intensified scrutiny of ICE's presence and tactics, prompting a federal investigation and lawsuit against DHS, which they've already got rid of the evidence. So I highly doubt that they'll be able to use that. Minneapolis immigrant communities, especially Somali, Latinx, and LGBTQ, have long faced surveillance and enforcement pressures. The 2026 surge reflects a national escalation under the Trump administration, with similar crackdowns in other Democrat-led cities. Civil rights groups warn that these raids undermine trust, destabilize neighborhoods, and disproportionately harm marginalized communities. And not only, and it was like, I think it was like 2, maybe 3 days later, a group of ICE agents dragged a disabled woman out of a car because she couldn't go anywhere because she was in like a traffic jam. And yeah, so
These are safe people to have around. These are fucking professionals. They know exactly what they're doing. They're not completely incompetent, spiteful fucking cunts.
No,
Definitely
because
not. Fucking idiots.
yeah, and I'm just gonna say it now that that to anyone listening to this, audio version or video, that if you want an actual breakdown of what's happened, then do seek out independent journalists like Joy Reid, Don Lemon, Jim Acosta. Seek out these people who covered this if you really want a breakdown of what's happening, because we're not going to go through it all, because we're not really that political unless we need to be. So I just want to put that out there. I just wanted to cover it because I think it's fucking ridiculous. So we've got to this point where, set aside your beliefs for a minute, right? Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Okay, like he was a piece of shit, but no one should be killed. Like that's that. Renee Nicole Good.
I'm staying silent on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I think he should have been killed. I think he should have been, but that's just me. Right. Renee Nicole Good. She shouldn't have lost her life.
No.
And now three kids are going to be out with their mom. And for what? Just so you can give, anti-immigrant bigots and homophobes, carte blanche to basically become bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Or because they've got little dicks, and they need to bring back toxic masculinity. Right? No.
Bring back Nazism.
Yeah.
And look, because about Renee Good, first and foremost, people equating that to Charlie Kirk can go throw themselves into a fucking fire, because it is not the same thing. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a public figure who ran, like, his platform was one of gun deaths are acceptable as a it is acceptable to we need to accept some gun related deaths in order to keep having the Second Amendment, basically. That was an argument that he kept having. He got killed because of the policies that he wanted. Like, it is that simple. He wanted less gun regulation. That's one of the things that I personally agreed with him on. I don't like regulations, and I do believe that people do have the right to bear arms. I've said that many times. The Second Amendment is one of my favorite amendments in the in the American Constitution. The Second Amendment and the one that got rid of slavery. I actually like the Second Amendment more, because the Slavery Amendment didn't get rid of slavery. It just got rid of every slavery. It just got rid of all slavery that isn't going on inside jails. You can still have prison labor, which is a form of slavery, because prisoners don't really get paid. But that's another point. Renee Good didn't run a fucking platform of getting shot in the head through a fucking windshield.
No.
I'm sorry, she didn't. And the other thing, and people saying, like, as I said, Max is going to get mad about this. Now, I've brought out my little soapbox and I'm standing on it. You can't see it because I don't have any video right now, because I'm going through a cold. But like, people saying shit like, "Oh, she was trying to hit him with a car." First and foremost, regardless, he wasn't near getting hit by a car. At best, he was near getting sideswiped a little bit by the car, but he wasn't that either. You can see that in videos, and I'm not going to pull up the fucking receipts here.
No.
I can't be asked to do so, honestly. But he was not near getting hit by the car, and he shot her in the fucking head through the fucking windshield. And people are arguing as if that's how it should be. Here's
Mm-hmm.
my thing about, because in our society, the police, whether they're ICE, whether they are regular police officers, they have a monopoly on violence. And them having that monopoly of violence, I don't think they should have that monopoly of violence. In fact, in fact, I want to abolish all forms of police. I am an anarchist, but them having that monopoly of violence means they have a fucking responsibility to, yes, put their lives at risk before they start shooting.
Yeah.
Unless police officers get shot at, they should not be allowed to shoot. Unless they are in actual direct risk of being killed, they should not be allowed to fire their guns. That is because we don't have the rights that they have. We are not allowed to draw a fucking gun on a person and tell them, if I do that, that's a fucking armed assault. If I pull a gun on someone, tell them to get down on their knees with their fucking hands behind their head. That's a robbery.
Yeah.
But when they do it, it's enforcing state violence. Okay, look. I hate the fact that I'm going to have to reference Dimension 20 now. Do you know what Dimension 20 is?
No.
Dimension 20 is it's on dropout.tv, what used to be College Humor before they bought themselves out, basically. Dimension 20 is an actual play Dungeons and Dragons show, and I'm so sorry that we've gotten to this point. But there's this one. I think it's in the first season that they did. It's called Fantasy High, and it's irrelevant how, but basically a halfling character all of a sudden turns out to be this really sweet family father, but he also happens to be anarcho-communist, and he just throws out laws are threat made by the dominant socioeconomic ethnic group in a given nation. It's just the promise of violence that's enacted, and the police are basically an occupying army. You know what I mean? And that is true. That is true, and it's more true now than ever. And I'm sorry that I'm sitting here really like fucking waving my black flag here. Yeah, all you people who love to watch this and complain about me doing drugs, maybe listen now, because you're going to have shit to fucking clip out now. ICE is Gestapo. ICE is bad. ICE is terrible. ICE is basically domestic terrorists at this point. But they are just police. That's what all police are, in essence. When you boil it down, that is what police actually are. Fucking arm yourself, people, please.
Yeah, and what's been happening. Because again, you know, if you want a proper breakdown, and listen to people that.
Except for my mental breakdown that I'm going through live on air.
Then obviously check out the people I mentioned, because they have obviously spoken about this in more depth. But it's like we're already seeing that, you know, people are arming themselves because of this.
Yeah, and right-wingers hate that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the Second Amendment doesn't apply. You fucking cunts.
Yeah. And it's
all of a sudden, you're like, oh, they should put these people in jail because they're walking around with automatic weapons. You want this. I want this. Have some fucking backbones.
Yeah. And, you know, and again, Renee...
This whole episode is just going to be me shouting myself hoarse.
No, it's all right. So again, Renee was shot during an ICE operation targeting Somali immigrants in Minneapolis, a city with the largest Somali population in the US. She and her wife, Becca, was reportedly supporting neighbors during the raid, using whistles to signal distress. DSS claims the ICE agent acted in self-defense, alleging Renee was stalking after and impeding agents, which everyone has saw the video. That's not true at all. But anyway, like Max, I can't be asked to bring it up. And local officials dispute this narrative. Well, of course they would. Renee was inside her SUV when she was shot. 4 times, by the way.
Don't listen to the murderer when he says that he didn't murder someone.
Yeah. Her wife, Becca, was present and shouted, "They just shot my wife." And the sad thing is that I think a few minutes before this, they just dropped off their child at school.
Yeah.
And literally a few minutes later, that I can gather, this happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, Renee's family has launched a civil investigation into her death, demanding transparency and accountability from ICE. Unfortunately, I don't think you're gonna get that unless you really arm yourself with as much ammunition, wrong phrasing, as you can in terms of evidence. A GoFundMe campaign for her family has raised nearly $500,000, reflecting widespread public support. But it's like, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Trump is basically, Trump is only the last days anyway. He's not going to last long.
He's going to fucking die soon.
Oh yeah. You're gonna end up seeing images from the White House where people are like carting him off in a box. Like I just don't know what's going on. Well, I do know. I just imagine losing your life for something that you didn't do. You weren't in the way. She even said to the ICE officer, I don't hate you, dude." You can literally hear her say that. And it's like, why? Why? Do you have a little dick? Like, are you scared about your manhood? Like, what the fuck possessed you?
They clearly are. Like, they are. There was this one video. Did you see the video of the ice agent slipping on ice?
Yeah.
Where they accidentally fired their fucking gun. Did they not have the safety on? Do they not teach these fucking people gun safety? Look, whether I own or whether I own or don't own guns are neither here nor there, because I live in a country where it's illegal for me to own guns. So officially speaking, I don't own any guns. But gun safety, fucking, you give these people loaded firearms and then don't tell them to don't have the safety off when you, first and foremost, don't slip on ice, you dumb fuck. Second of all, if your gun look, they make firearms. I know that in films, when you toss a firearm and they land, they basically fire. It's like, the scene from fucking True Lies or whichever film it is, where they drop guns and they just start firing everywhere. That doesn't happen in real life. Do you know why it doesn't happen in real life? Like, you shouldn't drop your gun. It's bad to drop your gun. It can get damaged, and that's not good. You don't want the fucking, you don't want the bullets to blow up inside the gun next time you try to fire it.
Yeah.
But the reason that guns don't fire when you drop them is because they're made specifically not to fire when you drop them. Are you fucking insane? They test guns before they put them out on the markets. It's
Yeah,
a product. They don't like if a gun fires, it's not supposed to be easy to fire a gun. It requires intent to fire a gun unless you're a fucking idiot who keeps your fucking finger on the fucking trigger and the safety off.
yeah.
And if you are that type of idiot, you shouldn't have a gun.
No. In terms of training, under the old administration, you would normally get 5 months of training, but under this one, they only got 47 days worth of training.
That's fucking sickening. That is
And
genuinely fucking sickening.
apparently, Jonathan Ross, one of the ICE agents,
Yeah, when I saw that, I mean, imagine being the other Jonathan Ross.
yeah,
Imagine being Wossy that day when that was trending. Jesus fucking,
yeah,
Jesus fucking Christ! What did I do?
yeah.
That was my
Apparently,
imitation of Jonathan Ross.
yeah. Apparently, he has some form in he already has experience of being a policeman. I think. Don't quote me on that. I think he already has previous training.
Yeah, I mean, I
But
don't doubt that.
but even
Though
so,
he wasn't the guy. He wasn't the guy who fired his gun by slipping on ice. He fired his gun with full intent to kill someone,
yeah,
which at least is what you should do.
yeah,
Remember, if you point your gun at like the first thing, like this is the one thing that in films that like gun safety in films are fucked completely. But one thing that he constantly says, they constantly say in films, are never point at something that you don't intend or is okay with killing. That's the one thing. Like trigger discipline is fucked in films. Gun safety in general is fucked in films. Uh, but the one thing that is like constantly repeated is never aim at something that you don't intend to kill or that you don't like that you aren't okay with killing. Because guns are guns. They're not fucking toys, you dumb shit.
no. And the reason why they landed
I'm
on
genuinely so fucking angry at this.
yeah, and the reason why they landed on that magical number 47 days is because they wanted to celebrate Donald Trump.
Yeah, I know. That's that. That is. It's fucking. It's a fucking parody. It is a fucking parody.
Listen,
Um.
I'm gonna say something now, right? I'm not gonna show it because I don't want to get flagged. Um, I've sold it to Max when we were off air, right? Let's go away from firearms for a minute.
Yeah.
I used to do martial arts, right? I used to train with weapons, right? I'll put it like that, right? But when I trained with weapons, I was training with them for every day for 5+ years, right? So I have the training, and I also have the knowledge of being able to how to properly use it. If you gave me a firearm, which I know nothing about, right, because it's not in our culture in the UK to have firearms, right, I'd be like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? That's basically amounts to 47 days, because you're giving me a firearm that I know nothing about. I can't handle it properly because clearly, you don't know. You didn't even know that if you drop it, it's not gonna shoot. Like, come on, like, come the fuck on. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
like, how dumb are these people? And apparently, they've been paying these people because they're trying to recruit recruit like MAGA people and paying them a bonus between $10,000 and $50,000 to join to protect their community.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking know.
Look,
Like,
I'm going to jump back to, because this is what I've seen, like from that guy who's been standing on the corner. I'm gonna see if I can screen share this real quick.
yeah.
Which time? Yeah. Okay. So I'm screen sharing something now. I think you can.
Okay.
Here. So Gunther Eagleman. This is my neighborhood. A liberal man with a rifle stands outside a home in St. Paul to protect his neighbors from ICE. Lock him up. When did the Second Amendment stop counting? When did you stop caring so fucking much about that? And the next one is same theme, but it's this guy. I'm screen sharing again. Breaking. Leftists in Minneapolis are getting armed and standing guard against ICE. This is a person who's been arguing for the second. Oh, leftists with a rifle. This is my neighborhood. Mr. Tough Guy wouldn't last. Tim Walz and Mayor Frey want a shootout. Charge them. Charge them for what? What should this person be? What should anyone here be charged for? Yeah, he's standing there with a rifle. Who cares? And the final one, we're going to go to my Twitter here, because these are the people. You absolute fucking cretinous cunts. I hate you all so much. You spiteful little bitches. Leftists aren't pro Second Amendment, by the way. They are pro aiming their side. They are pro arming their side and pro disarming your side. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking otherwise. Okay, Toran.
Yeah.
Look. Regardless of whether we don't want to get like political or whatever, I'm fairly open about being an anarchist.
Mm-hmm.
And anarchism is a leftist political ideology. I am a leftist. I'm not a fucking liberal. I'm not a fucking conservative. I'm a leftist. And despite me, I'm not some weird fucking state communist. Oh, I love Stalin so fucking much. I'm going to suck his corpse's cock. I'm an anarcho-communist or just plain anarchist. Sometimes I'm an anarcho-egoist. Anyway, but I am leftist. I am a leftist. Every fucking time that there has been a discussion of guns on this show, I have made it very clear that I am not only pro-gun, I am pro-gun ownership. I'm pro-gun ownership in the sense that I don't just think it's okay for you to be armed. I think everyone should arm themselves and take classes in gun safety and stuff. I think that is a good thing, an unalloyed good. Now, I do not believe that America's gun culture is healthy, but I am pro-gun ownership, and I think it's a good thing. When we've watched videos with Blair White, I said earlier, what Charlie Kirk said about guns is the only thing that I fucking agreed with him on. I've said this when we watched the video of Blair White. My interest peaked, and I started agreeing with her the second she started talking about all her guns and about her ideas of firearms. Does it fucking sound like I only think that the leftists should be armed? Does it sound? No. I've been this way all the fucking time. I'm not a fucking hypocrite on this. And most leftists, liberals don't like guns. I'm not a fucking liberal, you dumb idiot. Leftists aren't fucking liberals. There's a wide difference. Liberals are to the right of me. As far as the political fucking compass works, at least. I'm
Yeah,
for, and like, it's it. Oh, they're pro arming your side. Yes, I am pro arming my side. Of course I am. I am also pro the right for everyone to bear arms because I don't view people as political fucking pundits. You dumb morons.
yeah, and
I don't
I
know if
would
you've
just
noticed, but this topic genuinely fucking pisses me off, and I'm
yeah.
going to roll another cigarette and go out and smoke again.
Yeah, and I will just tag on to what Max has said, because a lot of people, especially trolls, like to assume what label or political leaning I have. I've been accused of being a liberal, a leftist, and like I'm not. I'm neither. I'm what you would call an independent, right? So if you want to label me as anything, which I don't give a fuck about labels, no, whatever. But if you want to label me as one, then label me as an independent. I trust no one. I don't trust the government, right?
Yeah.
But to Max's point regarding arming yourselves, yeah, by all means, arm yourself, right? I would say the same thing to every single woman who has to walk down the street, whether it's daytime or at night, right? Who fear for their lives, fear for their safety on a daily basis, right? They should arm themselves
Yes.
with whatever weapon they can get hold of. If I was right, if you have a brain cell, and right, you right, and you care, and people care about women's safety. If you care about women's safety, then allow women to arm themselves.
Yes. And right now, women, women, trans people in general in America and in other places, but America has the easiest way to actually arm yourself. But and minorities in America, just fucking
Yeah,
arm yourself. And if you want to go, okay, look, this is an argument that I've seen. So I am on my fucking soapbox today. I've been off air for weeks now. I need to. I've actually been quite kind of off Twitter as well. But that's a longer story. Uh, but like, look, if you, I'm gonna 1 second. There we go. I just had to lick my cigarette shut. I'm rolling them by hand nowadays. But okay, I've seen this argument that from even from other trans people, whenever this because there is this uh, like trans people often recommend to other trans people to arm themselves. And there will invariably be someone who says like, "Oh yeah, if you like, there are people with this is a group with an unusually high suicide statistic, and you want them to have a gun in your." Yes, I do, because fact of the matter is, look, that's not going to make a fucking difference on that. And do you know what that is? When people say that, it's because they don't. It's not because they care. It's not because they think you're going to blow your brains out with a fucking gun. It genuinely isn't. It's because they want to keep you unarmed.
yeah,
That's all it is. It's just, and they hide it behind this fucking care boxing bullshit. And they don't care. They don't care about your safety. They don't give a shit about your safety, the people who says that. And is it good for me to walk around screaming arm yourself? Yes, because I also make very clear that you should take gun safety seriously. You should train with a gun. You should know how to use one. At least, even if you don't own a gun, go to a shooting range. Learn how to properly use one.
yeah,
Please. I like anyone listening to this, please fucking do that. And don't listen to people who don't have your best interests at heart.
no, like when I used to do martial arts, right? I did martial arts for almost a decade or more, right? When I used to do martial arts, me along with my sensei and the club I used to do martial arts with, we used to do weekly free seminars
Oh,
for
cool.
women, right, to give them a self-defense, right? Because again, going to your point, right? And it's like, if you truly cared about women's safety, right?
Yeah.
And in particular trans women, right? If you're worried, if your logic is that you're worried about giving someone a firearm because they're suicidal, right? Not forgetting the reason why, not forgetting or not understanding why the reason why is they might be suicidal in the first place.
Yeah, there's a very good fucking reason for
Yeah.
the statistic to look the way that it does when it
Yeah.
comes to trans people. Jesus fucking Christ.
I find that logic very ironic, given that you're taking away trans women's healthcare, and yet you're worried about giving them a firearm because you think they're suicidal. Well, maybe if you give them the healthcare that they need, their suicidal ideation will significantly drop. So that's one. But in any case, women should arm themselves regardless. I don't understand. I don't understand why they find it hard to understand this. Right, but it's not rocket science. You give them access to the healthcare that they need, which invariably, right, will harm cis people as well because they access the same fucking healthcare, right? But we can get that into another episode. Let them arm themselves. Give them free martial arts self-defense lessons. That used to be a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Training, right?
Oh fuck.
Right. If you can, and this mostly comes from Christians, right? It's like, no, if you truly cared about women's safety, you would give them self-defense lessons, put them on a program where they can learn how to firearm training, all of that, because. And yes, if you are worried about the amount of guns on the streets, and you don't want any more, then I have another suggestion. Maybe limit the amount of people that can own guns. Maybe update your identification process. Maybe put checks and balances in to stop people from buying guns, so that you don't have mass shootings. But wait a minute, they don't care about children. Oh, sorry.
No, they absolutely don't. Let's see.
It's just fucking ridiculous. It's like we're lucky in the UK because we don't have this problem. If we did have this problem, then fuck me. No, like, I hate to say this, but I know that way back when the Declaration of Independence was signed, I understand that they didn't realise that this was going to happen, right? But at some point, some people could have sort of thought to themselves, hang on, wait a minute, we might have shot ourselves in the foot here. But okay. But yeah, this is what I wanted to cover because I felt it was important to.
Yeah, it is, and it is important.
Because it's getting ridiculous. Taco Tip Trump is, too worried about. It's like, and it's like, I think it was the president of FIFA. This is how childish Trump is, because he was still banging on about the fucking Nobel Peace Prize. And so
Yeah,
the president of FIFA had
I
to
saw that.
give him a fake Nobel Peace Prize.
That's fucking ridiculous.
And as your president, I'm not blaming all of Americans. I'm blaming at least 70% of you who voted for him 3 times. Like, wake the fuck up.
Oh,
Seriously.
the electoral college kind of fucked them up.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And also, hey, Democrats, learn how to put up a better candidate.
Mm,
Learn how to fucking do that. Put up. It's I'm thinking of the quote from the first episode of the Newsroom where Jeff Daniels just go, if liberals are so goddamn smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
yeah.
Which is just perfect encapsulation. But yeah, I mean this. Yeah, I think I want to add a caveat to my little army yourself. Now, if you personally yourself believe that I cannot be trusted with a firearm, don't get a firearm.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, use common sense there, okay? If you don't believe that you can handle it, don't do it. But what you still should do is you should still practice gun safety. You should go to a shooting range. You should learn how to use a firearm because there might come a time, some people think, I personally think there will come a time where you will have to need to defend yourself.
Yeah.
It is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's that simple. And like about this, what that guy is doing. I don't care if it's going to be efficient or not. If he's standing out on the fucking corner with an assault rifle, I don't care if that's going to be effective. What? But here's the thing: people say like, "Oh, he threatens the state. He threatens the government." Every government should fear their people. It shouldn't be the other way around. A government should always be fearful of the people they govern.
Yeah.
That's how we keep them in check. If we want a government at all, and I'm very well on record saying that I don't, they need to fear the people that they govern. That's the only way that you can have a proper fucking government. And I don't mean fear it and then put in some little military bullshit action to stomp out the fear. No, they should suck it the fuck up. You chose to be in that position. You chose to have power over people. And people should have power over their government. And today they don't.
Yeah, and it's like already in America. Again, I follow certain independent journalists on YouTube because I like to know what's happening. And it's like there is already an uprising of people standing up to ICE. Going to certain locations, showing up and so forth. So something is starting to happen. Obviously, about 4 weeks ago, we had obviously No Kings rally, right?
Yeah.
So there's already starting to have something happening.
Yeah.
And with obviously the midterm elections coming up, like if you again, like you go out and vote for who you want. You have that right, but make sure you're voting for someone who can at least affect the right change that you want. Obviously, don't vote against your self-interest, or maybe do. If you want a country that you want where everyone's equal, then vote against your self-interests.
If you're rich, vote against your self-interest.
Yeah, right. So yeah, go out and vote. Right, get behind, Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah,
right? I don't know.
And remember that. And just remember that, like, yeah, it's fine. Go out and vote. I personally don't believe in voting, but that's
Yeah,
a different thing.
neither do
You can't really vote in anarchism.
no.
But remember that that's not the only power that you have to affect political change. Like, go out and help people. Go to the demonstration. Go to the protest.
Yeah,
Go out, fucking join a soup kitchen. I don't know. Do some actual fucking grassroots movement shit. That's change. That's good. And don't push yourself too hard, and take care of your mental health and stuff. Blah blah blah
yeah.
blah blah.
Also, I
But
want to say this as well before it fucking leaps out of my mind. Right. If you have family members, right, who don't vote, who are like me, you know, and independent, you know, and right, and you want to find out the reasons why they don't vote, then ask them. Find out why they don't vote. Because I'll tell you. Because I'll quickly tell you why I don't vote. I mean, I basically already said it earlier, but I'll say it again. It's because I don't trust the government. I'm specifically talking about the government where I live in the UK, but it applies to every government. I don't trust the government. I don't trust our politicians because they never get anything right. They fuck everything up.
sorry.
Right?
Yeah,
But I and whilst I don't vote and never will, right? I have friends who vote, right?
yeah, okay.
And it goes back in their face. Right. So if you want to vote, that's your right. But don't chastise other people who don't just because they don't buy into the bullshit. So go out and vote for people who you think will make the right change. Like vote for Jasmine Crockett, right? If you want
Mm.
if you want to see another black woman in office one day, and you think Jasmine Crockett or Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is the one for you, get behind them. Get behind Mom Donny, right? If you want to see change, get behind these people, right? Or vote against your best interest and keep voting for Taco Tit Trump. That's my
Yeah.
TED talk, and that's it, and that's me done.
I'm just going because look, I have said things during this episode which could be construed as me thinking, you know, every ICE officer is a bad person and that every police officer is a bad person. And I would like to make clear that I do. I do believe that. Because the fact that they are police officers, the fact that they are ICE officers.
Mhm.
You thought I was going to say that I don't. Somebody out there thought I was going to defend police officers here. No, this is my TED talk. Uh, look, the fact that they are in that institution, it requires of them to enact violence upon the people. It requires of them to do that. And this goes for every single police force out there. I don't care where you are, I don't care what it is.
Mhm.
Um, that, and if anybody out there wants to say, oh, it's only a few bad apples, finish the fucking saying. Because the saying isn't, it's only a few bad apples. The saying is, a few bad apples spoils the bunch. Because
Yeah,
if you have a few bad apples amongst good apples, you're going to have a barrel of bad apples. It's that simple. Because the spoilage on the bad apples spoils the other apples. This goes for every type of fruit, and it goes for every type of institutions. Because the people in the institutions, even if they are the best people in the world, need to uphold those institutions. So good police officers don't exist for the simple reason that good police officers quit their job.
yeah. Unless if you are the type of person that thinks like that, that's listening to this, like we appreciate you watching and giving us a view. Um, but if you really think like that, then what you are asking for or wanting for is you are wanting more George Floyd to happen. And if that's the case, then you're not really quite like thinking with logic. Also, systemic racism don't just exist out of nothing. You have to look at the system itself. So going to
Yeah.
what Max has said, like if the system was perfect, you wouldn't have bad apples, or would you? Because again, it's the system itself. It's how it's built.
Yeah. If the system was perfect, then the bad apples would be excluded from the system.
Exactly.
But the system
So
is broken. I'm
yeah,
not going to say the system is broken because the system is working exactly as it's intended. It's
exactly.
intended to work like this. It's not. It's not. It's like capitalism isn't broken. It is working exactly as it's intended. It's keeping some people in power on the top, and it's keeping most of us on the bottom. But hey, I've just been read the Conquest of Bread, people.
Yeah.
That was my usual. Oh, I remember that. I was such a cute little girl back then. When we started doing this, all of my usernames on Twitter, and if you ask why I say usernames in plural, then you have completely missed out on the law behind my Twitter usage. I've had my account that I have right now. I think I've had it for like a year now.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I knew I was working at least. I was because I'm out of work currently, but I was working when I got it, and that's like it's about to come up to a year. But speaking of, but all of my Twitter usernames in the before times was different variations of the book The Conquest of Bread by um oh my god, I don't remember his name. Bakunin.
Oh yeah.
So it was like Breaded Conquest or the con Bread of Quest was probably Bread Quest of Con maybe. I don't remember. But just a fun fact. No, you don't have to read the Conquest of Bread. And for those of you who don't know it, it's basically the Communist Manifesto, but written by people who actually understand things. So it's written about anarchism instead. But my point is like my point is that today I've just basically been railing. This feels good. This feels good. 2026 is going to be Max really showing off her anarchist. Yeah. I'm gonna let my anarchist come out. And if you think that I, because this is the weirdest fucking complaint I've ever had. You don't dress like an anarchist. First and foremost, no, because I'm not dressing like shit, and I'm not dressing like a weird tween-age cat girl. Like those are the two types of anarchists there are. Uh, I hate hanging out with other anarchists because every anarchist hates hanging out with other anarchists. But I hate hanging out with other anarchists because I'm the only person who wears a fucking suit jacket.
Yeah.
I put on a blazer and all of a sudden I'm a capitalist pig or something. Yeah, just because you want to dress like you don't have any fucking sense.
Yeah.
I'm the one anarchist at the protest that is well dressed. But my always look your sharpest, people.
Yeah.
I'm not,
So
and I'm not saying that anyone needs to become an anarchist. Would I prefer
no.
it? Yes, of course, I would prefer it. But you need to question, like authorities. You need to criticize authorities, and you need to do that about all authorities. And when it comes to the police, and when it comes to ICE, and when it comes to like the people who not only govern us, but who have a monopoly of violence against us, these people need to be put to a higher standard than those of us that don't. There was a police shooting in Sweden a few years back, where they shot a man with Down syndrome because he was holding a toy gun, and this was at around 4 o'clock in the morning in Stockholm. And I don't know if any of you have ever been to Sweden and knows it was in June, I should say as well. It was like it was during the like height of summer. And if you've never been to Sweden, you might not know this, but during summers we get up like there are parts during summers, especially during June, because we have something that's called midsummer. And during midsummer, that's the like midsummer's eve is the brightest night on the year. During that, we get like 1.5 hours of darkness sometimes, like between 1.5 to 2 hours of darkness during the entire night. It is, and there are parts of Sweden where we get none. We have what's called the midnight sun here. If you don't know what the midnight sun is, it's called the midnight sun because the sun literally doesn't set. It goes down to the horizon, and before it reaches below the horizon, it starts rising again. It's one of the coolest. Watching one of those sunsets are one of the coolest things you can experience aside from the northern lights. But this means that there is not like during summers in Sweden, darkness does barely exist. During winters in Sweden, we don't have anything but darkness. It's literally dark for like 2 months straight. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It feels like I've seen the sun more this winter, but that's because I'm unemployed. Like if you work, you go to work in complete pitch black darkness, and you leave work in complete pitch black darkness. But during the summers, we don't have darkness. They knew they could see what they were doing, and they
Yeah.
emptied like 3 clips into this guy. And then you have people arguing that they needed to protect themselves. They walked, these murderers, because let's face it, that's what they were. They murdered this guy. These murderers walked free because they had an imagined self-defense situation. An imagined self. What does that mean? What that means is that we have given the police carte blanche to shoot us if they feel threatened. No, they should only be allowed to shoot if at all, if they are genuinely in danger. And I'm talking, unless somebody has fired at them, they should not be allowed to fire back.
Yeah.
It should be firing back. That should be what they are allowed to do. And that's fucking it.
Yeah. I think I remember. I think I remember reading something about this.
Yeah, and I think I've shouted about it like some day earlier.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, and it's like, if you want to avoid situations like what that poor family had to go through in Sweden or in Minneapolis, right? Then do what you can. Obviously, if you're going to go out and protest, obviously I'm speaking towards our American listeners. Then obviously make sure you're safe, stay safe, right? But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it for our first one back.
Yeah, I've been shouting for like an hour straight.
Yeah.
I've been.
So yeah,
I gotta go back. I gotta go back to see. I've accidentally gotten a banger on Twitter, and it's of course about cocaine.
Yeah.
Like there was someone who said, "Look, I'm just quickly. This one pissed me off so bad. I'm going to screenshot now. This is just a little closer, okay? Let's see. There we go. Yay! I'm back to me. Yeah. Here we go. So I'm up. I just know that he couldn't handle the coke smell. What fucking coke smell? Do you know what cocaine smells like on somebody else? It doesn't smell like anything. So I just, so everyone's saying it doesn't smell. Here you go. And it's just coming from a recovering addict. Yes, it absolutely does. It smells like gasoline or dead ladybugs. I don't know how dead ladybugs smell, but I do very much like the smell of cocaine. So I guess I like the smell of dead ladybugs. If your cocaine smells too much like gasoline, have it tested to make sure that it's pure, because there's a way, like I know that some people distill it in gasoline, but no, like, ah, I know it's hard to check your stuff, but try to not find a good cocaine dealer, okay? But it does have a smell. And this was just my response. Yes, I like all my own. Fucking, you know this about me by now. Yes, it has a distinct smell. If you're actually, it has a distinct smell if you're actually close enough to cocaine to already be snorting it. Other than that, no, it fucking doesn't. And it sure, and it sure as shit doesn't smell on the person doing it. It barely smells through the bag. That's just a typo because I'm the queen of typos. It's supposed to be bag, unless you're reusing them. But then I went a bit, you know, I went a bit me, so I couldn't stop myself. So I had to like because everyone was just saying like, no, it doesn't have a smell, and that's not true either. In spite of what everyone is saying, cocaine does in fact, have a very distinct smell, as well as a taste. But the only way you will ever know that is by actually snorting it straight up those nostrils of yours, because in the amounts people carry, that shit is pathetically weak. You cannot smell cocaine on another person. It's that simple. You're not a fucking sniffing dog. And the most you'll ever smell on someone else is them sweating it out, which also won't happen because fresh sweat doesn't smell, and cocaine leaves your body too quickly for the amount to stack enough to where it would be possible to notice any smell on the user. Cocaine leaves your body in like an hour. Does this matter? No, but people are way too quick to speak on drugs without any fucking knowledge on how they work. And as an active user of plenty of narcotic substance, it annoys the shit out of me. So the reason I put this is just my little plea. This is just my little plea. Please, for the love of fucking God, can we stop making drugs the one thing that you can speak on without any fucking authority on the subject? Eh, Every day. There was this dancing fucking chick on who was like sweating, clearly high out of her mind, and someone said cocaine is a hell of a drug. No, she's doing Molly. She's in a nightclub. She's doing Molly, you fucking idiot. She's doing ecstasy. Learn how drugs work. Narcotics aren't just. And this is fuck. Jesus Christ, I am on a rant mood today. And it's not that. I get that you don't understand, but don't speak on it unless you do, because what that makes it seem like is that cocaines are just it makes it seem cocaines. It makes it seem that drugs are interchangeable, and they are not. You need to know what drugs you put in your system. Don't just say cocaine is a hell of a drug with about someone who's clearly high off their mind on Molly. The other night, I was fucking tripping balls on acid because I had like some shit to deal with. So I decided let's deal with it through an acid trip. Fuck it. Like 2005 wasn't a great year for me. I lost a bunch of friends. I lost a job. I lost a partner. Lost my fucking will to live. Now I'm just running on spike. I haven't done drugs in months now because I've been, but except for the acid, but that's medication. But I dropped some acid and I started to go on Twitter, which was a mistake because then I started posting things on Twitter, and, and what I posted, like I think it's very clear when it comes to my fucking cocaine. If you go onto my Twitter and go onto my uh, like it's just nonsense, and I do many typos in general, but it became so much worse. But if you go onto my Twitter, you can probably see when they're like, and I started like it hit, the drug hit, like the acid started hitting while I was typing out like um someone I've followed and like interacted with for a few times, and it came out as non-binary, and I was just doing like, oh, like happy for you, blah 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 blah, that type of support post. And during writing that, the acid hits, and I go on a massive fucking rant that I am not going to repeat right now because I still feel so much fucking shame about it. So at the end, I had to say like, I'm really sorry, I didn't expect the acid to hit this hard. Uh, and then I just posted it. So I just went on a tirade about it because I was But my point here is, if someone saw, if I saw those tweets without me saying the acid hit hard, I could tell you what drug I was on in that moment. That's why I speak on narcotics. Get some fucking knowledge before you people speak on narcotics. Because what you're doing is spreading misinformation. I don't care if it's a joke. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Yes, it fucking is. But learn what the effects are before you start spreading misinformation, you dumb cunts.
I couldn't agree more. And on that note, we're gonna leave it there. And don't worry, I'm sure there will be many more rants to go throughout the year.
Yeah, I have not tapped out.
Yeah.
This is just wait until I start getting my, unemployment check so that I can start buying drugs again. Oh, did she just admit to buying drugs for unemployment checks? Yeah.
You are.
No, I didn't. I haven't admitted to anything.
And you are almost certainly due one from me, or more than one, but that will come in time. So yeah, thanks for joining, listening.
Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. So all of our condolences go out to Renee Nicole Good's family. And hope her family gets justice.
Fuck ICE.
Yeah, fuck ICE, fuck Trump. Actually, no, don't. Bury him in the ground first. Stone him.
Then alleged corpse fucker Elon Musk wants to fuck him.
Yeah. But yeah, we will be back next week, same time, 7 p.m. Unless
8 p.m. for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, we might do an updated. We might redo our first episode, but updated version next week. I don't know. Me and Max will talk about it off air, behind the scenes.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that for a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
been...
Hope you enjoy your evening. Stay safe. Look after your mental health. And as always, if you're gonna do narcotics, drugs, at least know where they're from.
And know what they are.
Yeah.
Know what the effects are before you use them.
Yeah, and for any other clown who thinks that we're apparently trying to infiltrate young people's minds. For clarification, right, our podcast is 18 plus. Right, we have adults who listen to our show. So please spare us your bullshit. Like children do not listen to our show. I repeat, children do not listen to our show. If children are listening to our show, then that is down to the fault of the parents, and it's their responsibility to not allow their child to listen to our show. So I just want to make that very clear.
Yeah, turn off your fucking YouTube and start playing Fortnite or whatever the fuck you do, you little brats.
Yeah, but anyway,
play a real game. Play a proper game instead.
But with that said,
uncultured swine. I hate young people.
Yeah, but with that being said, we're gonna leave it there, and we'll see you next week.